All right, we're rolling. So I just attended my 20-year high school reunion. 20 years is a long time, that's 2 decades. And I've never been to any of my high school reunions before because I didn't really see the point. You know, especially the 5-year and the 10-year, you're like, that's not enough time for anything significant to happen, you know. But the 20-year, I felt like I had to go. And I was even talking to my wife and she was like, don't go in expecting anything because you might just get disappointed. Just go. And I'm like, okay. And I really have to say, I was not expecting to feel the way I did when I walked back into our assembly hall, which we call Big School, and got to see all my friends, and even the people who weren't friends, from high school. It was surreal. It really made me appreciate, I don't even know what word to use to describe it, but the stuff that's not work or hustle related, if that makes sense. We had about 120 people turn up out of 180 people in the class, 160, whatever it is, which was an incredible turnout. And, you know, if you normally follow this channel, it's pretty much startup material, like, you know, entrepreneurial advice, but never from a place of, hey, I'm a mega entrepreneur and this is the blueprint to make things work. Because that's just not who I am. You know, if anything, it comes from more of, I've tried it, I've done it, I've succeeded, I've failed. Pretend I'm like your distant uncle at a family gathering you haven't seen in forever, and you ask him about some of his entrepreneurial escapades, right? And he gives it to you, he gives you the advice, and you take it with a grain of salt. That's pretty much what this channel is for. Because I'm an average dude, and if I can do it, then fuck, you can. In spades. It's just all about deciding what's important to you and what you want to prioritize and what do you want to spend your time with, right? So coming back to the reunion, the incredible thing is, and I tried to speak to a lot of people, but obviously I didn't want to treat it like a re-networking event because that takes the fun out of it. If you feel like you have to go speak to everyone and kind of find escape routes for each conversation, like, oh, I gotta go get another beer, or I gotta go to the bathroom, or blah, blah, blah. I end up finding the politest way to do it is like, really loved catching up with you, but I just want to try and see if I can catch up with some other people, just be honest. And everyone's like, yeah, cool, totally makes sense. But everyone I spoke to, we glazed over the work stuff, right? And there were some pretty impressive individuals at this reunion, both from a corporate angle, from an entrepreneurial angle, you know, career-wise. But no one really talked about it. We all really focused on, first of all, the memories of high school, which is great. Small talk, because I genuinely believe, you know, to bring it back to networking, even in a professional context, the best way to network is to really focus on the small talk, like connect with people as a human being, and then the work stuff will follow. Because once you talk about work, you're no longer a person, right? You're a job description. So it's hard to connect to that. And family, we were talking about our kids, we were talking about, you know, even the people who didn't have kids, you know, who they're close to. And it was really a defining moment where you're like, oh, this is the stuff that really matters, right? And it's obviously really easy to get caught up in the rat race, get caught up in work, but heck, after 20 years from high school, you know, we're all approaching 40. Sure, you got to do something because it's a means to the ends. It's how you put meat on the table. But at the end of it, it just felt like that shit didn't matter at this reunion. And when you closed your eyes, when I closed my eyes, I felt like I was back at high school. It was such a nice feeling. Like, because you just have so many responsibilities and stresses weighing you down in your day-to-day life. It's just part of life. It's part of growing up as well. Just for that short afternoon, evening, it was really nice to feel like the only thing we had to worry about was if that girl or guy was texting back, what was at the lunch canteen, what stupid test we had to worry about. if the new episode of Dragon Ball Z was going to be a filler or if it was going to be good, because back then it was showing just on television on Cheese TV, and one of the guys at school would tape him and bring him in, because unfortunately, and random tangent, I don't know why, but that show, Cheese TV, which was for kids, showing these really cool cartoons in the morning, the best shows always started at like 9 a.m. by the time we had to already be at school. So we'd always get the first couple of kind of good shows, but then like Dragon Ball Z, when Goku was fighting Frieza, that'd be on and we'd all be at school going, what the hell? Anyway, I digress. So what's the point of this video? I don't know. I just felt like talking about the reunion because it made me feel something, and I think that's important because it helps you realize that even when stuff feels really shitty and tough, especially from a work angle or if you're trying to start a business, I feel like the thing that could help get you through it and exhibit grit and, mental toughness is by just reminding yourself the stuff that really matters. And in this case, I'm very blessed in my life to have a very healthy young son who just turned 9 months old, and a loving wife and a stepson and everything in a family, even though we're going through some health stuff. But it's also those milestones. It's like, don't forget not just your cultural roots, but your high school roots. Believe it or not, even though I do these videos that make it seems like I'm an extroverted individual and I lead a business, I'm a very introverted person. I find anything in a social setting super draining. So I really don't spend time with friends or reconnect with friends from my past, but I'm going to use this as a catalyst to try to do that because, you'll blink and 10 years will go by, and then another 10 years and another 10 years. And when you look back on your journey, what do you want to not even have done, but what do you want to see? Do you just want to see this ridiculously chaotic entrepreneurial journey that has taken everything from you? And the opportunity cost of that could be relationships, could be family, could be health. Or is there a path where you could do some of that stuff, but not take it too seriously? Like 3 words I live by is be loose but focused, right? Just be on it, but also just stop and smell the roses? Or do you want to be able to look back and just smile because you've had so many human moments? And I know it's tricky because built into our DNA, which is probably why as a species we've evolved and developed so much, is this hunger for progress and domination and all that kind of stuff, which is why even in a work context, when you take away the primal stuff, we keep striving for more and more. But yeah, don't take the stuff, that kind of stuff, for granted, as in those personal relationships, those milestone moments as you grow up. And if you've got a reunion coming up, I reckon go to it, especially if you're at the point where you're probably not if you're watching this, because a lot of the people that reach out to me directly or in the comments are, in their 20s and stuff like that. But yeah, I think check out your reunions. Even if you feel like you're a bit of a outcast or introvert, those things, you'll be pleasantly surprised when you meet people from your reunion. At least I was, especially 20 years later. Everyone's matured in a way that it's almost like everyone realizes that everyone's important equally. Back in high school and when you're young, you think you're going to live forever. You're in your own little bubble. You've got the cool kids, you've got the nerds, you've got the bullies, you've got the people who are bullied. But it really felt like at this reunion, everyone's kind of like, okay, we've got kids, we don't have kids. We're getting older now. We know what's important to us. And we know life's precious. And your life is just as important as mine and mine as yours. If anything, we appreciate that so much as you get older, that you're just curious about other people's perspectives and experiences. So that's it. I'll leave it there. And I think if I had to write an undertoning message on this video when it comes to startups or entrepreneur ship, it's stay loose but focused. I'll speak to you again soon.